the price structure formation in Bitcoin looks really good. On a shorter horizon, it does show you that bulls are trying to keep the control. These previous resistance, they are now looking like a support. That's a great thing to watch. While assets like this, XRP, is still at the point without having much of a burst to the upside, it does show you the fact that we're trending to the upside. The moving average is still supporting the price. So in the general altcoin market, you're looking for a good burst coming soon. Maybe you'll need 2 to 3 weeks of patience before it starts accelerating. But remember, when you're in the market and you see assets like, say, Doge trending against the market, the perspective was shared before. A week back, I shared this with the SI family. 1,000 plus members saw that. Doge is highlighting that meme coins are starting to get more cash flow and the bounce here should start the markup phase. And that kind of seems logical because that's how the market is working. If you look at the volume involved in Dogecoin, think about it for a moment. It's double that of XRP. That's a lot of volume going into a meme coin. Then you have to look at the market, Dow Jones. It's going up, going up, going up. A lot of people were selling the bear market narrative, but the price is going up. So what the hell really is happening in there? This was the SI family. A couple of months back, we actually shared this thought process. Did we drop before we started bouncing? We did. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world by keeping you educated to the best possible odds of the market. Now, if we do look at the stock market right now, it is still bursting to the upside. Trend is your friend, which means if you're breaking to the upside, you're here in the overbought region on a 3-day. You go on a weekly and you're like, whoa, that's good. You go on a monthly and you're like, we still have some room. Right? The moment you come onto the stocks, say Dow on monthly, you're like, this is a parabolic phase. Who is going to go against it at this phase? We have seen these kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movements to the upside, and they get saturated when you enter the overbought territory. As of now, we are not yet there. The key point to understand in the market is that the strength is trying to break through. So risk on sentiment is coming back into the market. In Bitcoin, you're watching these bull flags every now and then, and the price is still going higher. The moment you actually zoom a little bit out and you look for the macro, you understand the fact that price is still above the moving average. It's a 21-day standard moving average on a daily chart. It came down to the moving average, bounced off. We shared this thought process earlier, saying watch for something like this where you would literally do the 1, the 2, the 3 kind of a move. Now, as of now, we've completed half of that structure, which is good. The previous resistance turned support resistance is now acting as a strong support. That's a great thing to watch here in the market. That being said, the dominant side is important. Like, how is the altcoin market standing up with all these volatility created by the Bitcoin side? I would argue the altcoins, excluding Ether here, in this example, is showing you almost highly correlated move. So if you say Bitcoin is about to run higher, you will also have to agree on the fact that this market is also about to go higher, which in terms means your measured move is going to be bigger. So how do you visualize that? This is your pattern, the rounded bottom, or a continuation pattern in this instance, giving a 16% to the upside. So you break that and you go higher. So that's going to be some room to the upside in the crypto market side. We have seen similar movements in the past, so going against it may not be the right option. Whether that was a micro move or that was a medium term move, all of those had similar continuation patterns in this market. Now, yes, certainty is required. You need to zoom out to a macro chart. You need to have an understanding of which direction you are traveling. Unless you see your moving average getting saturated, you're not slowing down, right? That's the history. The opposite is again true. So now here you are, you're watching that your moving average. That's not a monthly, that's a 3-day, right? You're still trending higher. Which means on a weekly, you would be looking at this and saying like that's a parabolic move happening. Historically speaking, when such a move is in that direction, you don't want to go against it. One of the easy part to identify whether you are near the top or you want to get out is, are you here in this phase or are you here? Meaning, did you actually complete a long run after the accumulation? This is your zone of accumulation. So for me, it looks like we're here. We completed this phase. That's great. Right now we are here. That would be a great run for the next couple of months. Now, those assets which actually ran up during this phase, they did great. If you rode that asset to the upside, consider taking your profits. If you're doubling down on them, do look at what the market is showing you, especially on the divergence side. On the Bitcoin side, surprisingly or not, you're watching this. The previous resistance turned support is now acting as a support, and the price is showing you a hidden bullish divergence. That's a bullish divergence at this part of the market cycle. Earlier, you had the negative divergence. The price slowed down. Now the same is showing you the upside. Now, how much is going to the upside, right? We'll have to wait and see, because if this burst is coming to 76, that means the micro leg can be done there. You may come back down to this level. Now, if you don't put in a local lower low, that means you still have upside. And my macro call of this range being the top is wrong. Now, if you do make the lower low, most likely you're going to slow down here, confirm a lower high too, and come back down. That's going to be a huge red flag for a lot of different assets, especially Bitcoin. Now, when you do look at this on a shorter horizon, you would say that's a trend line, that's good, that's perfect. But the moment you actually go on to Bitcoin's all-time history to put in the idea like, okay, I don't really care about the short-term moves. I'm looking for the macro. If that's you, you cannot neglect all these price history. Say you come here, you take all these data, and you're like, okay, if you're coming back down to this range, there is something wrong. Because you're breaking the moving average to the downside, and you're not close to the bottom here, right? If you do put that chart to the upside, saying all these tops matters, they are data points, now you're close to the top rather than the bottom. So if you get rejected at the top and you're traveling to the downside, what would you look for? Maybe the rainbow guys would actually add another color at the bottom. I don't know. But keeping in mind that if you do break that level, that's where something like, the guys who sell you $1 million Bitcoin comes into the picture. But the odds for that looks so low, maybe even 1%. Right now, what matters in the market is this range where you may top off and go back down. So while this happens, you look back at the history, and the history during this range looks very optimistic. Altcoin market is already showing you it's going higher. Now we can break it down. Say you want to look at the Doge. See, that's a meme coin you're looking at. Perfect. Fine. You understand these levels of consolidation, breakouts, bring higher momentum. We are watching that. Perfect. Now say you go back. You want to look at the Dogecoin's history. Last 5 years, last 6 years. You would like to look at the macro chart. One of the important reasons is on a weekly, Dogecoin shows you it's been repeating history for an extended period of time. In the SI family, we've been following that exact pattern for a long time, saying, guys, if this breakout happens, retest and bounce, ooh, that's going to be big. That's going to be big after that, right? So you have that 1, the 2, the 3. That's a huge burst. You cannot deny that, right? Here was like the 1, the 2, the 3. That was crazy. Now, what exactly is happening here? Now, I'm giving you guys this opportunity, and I think the SI family here will not be angry because they got in here at the bottom before all this started, right? So the ROI structure from this point, even from this structure, would look good. So you have the micro 3-wave structure and the macro. Don't get confused. The micro 3-wave structure, now the local top has not formed yet, so it can be a little bit higher too. And then the macro. So when you do see a big drop, when I say big drop, count at least 60-70% drop. This was 63% drop. This one here was like 80% drop. So that's what we're talking about. So when you do get such a big drop, understand the fact that, okay, you're done with one leg and that's a great opportunity for the next leg. Use that. Why? If history stands true, then what we are arguing here on, say, mostly a monthly chart is this. You don't want to go against it, right? The 1, the 2, the 3 is going on. So I wouldn't look for this kind of a pop, but I would still look for something like this. Because on a wave analysis, it should be equal to or less than wave 1, and that's not 60x. But if you do look at the wave 2 here, that's crazy. So I'm not looking for that. From the bottom, if you do put that in, then we're saying, okay, from the current price, it should still do another 10-15x. That's monstrous. Those who did accumulate here at the bottom when we were talking about it for that long-term burst, they're going to make it huge in these assets. Now, that's one part of the market, which is like the meme coin side. Then you go on the AI. In the AI side, yeah, you are watching this. Now, we've been talking about this asset for some time, talking about the risk, the trap, and everything coming in. We're still there. Look at the volume. Remember, this is a monthly chart. The significance should not be neglected. Now, you have a lot of different AI coins, which is getting attraction right now, getting a lot of volume popping through, and the monthly now is here. So it's your time to decide whether you are long this asset, whether you are trapped in this asset, whether you are taking your profits out of this market. Because at the end of the day, something matters. The valuation, the price structure. So in this macro chart for Fetch, if you do plot it correctly, you're like, okay, this is a range which looks attractive. At the bottom, it was like a huge run up. Great. It took more time than anticipated. But then you're like, okay, anticipated based on what, right? You look at the last cycle, it was like 560 days. You look at the current cycle, it's 480 days. So it didn't take more time. Based on the wave 1, we anticipated it to be at the top a little bit earlier, few months, right? But it got delayed. But even when you consider the long term, that's okay. Now you are at this phase when the market is here in terms of timing with Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin should consolidate, it should go back up, test this range. So the idea of the price correcting big time, at least twice in a cycle, you should be watching out for something like this. Then, yeah, it can go back up, test that range for sure. You are still in that macro pattern. But you understand the idea. Last time this happened, you saw other segment of the market starting to take off. And right now, when the capital flow is re-entering into a lot of these assets, I would argue that you should be positioned well enough in a lot of different assets where you think fundamentals matters, where you think the volume is now entering into that. A lot of money is jumping into that asset. Whether it's a micro asset, whether it's a macro asset, don't go crazy. Understand the logic behind why you're entering a certain asset and then utilize for your benefit. Right now, when you're in the market and you're looking at the volume, say there is a lot of them showing you increasing volume in last 24 hours, last 48 hours. Look at the price structure, and if they show you massive opportunity, use it. There are some of these assets which are dropping because they did very well recently. Now it's going for a buy the dip. But if that asset which you are about to buy is reversing from the top, you don't want to buy it, do you? So make sure you understand where in its market cycle it is right now. Especially, the smart contracts, the gamings, most of them have a long way. Payments, it hasn't even started. So don't even talk about the actual space which it can go. And you haven't hit that like button yet, I would request, guys, please do smash that for me. And if you would like to join the SI family with 1,000+ members there, use the link in the description below in YouTube or in the bio on Twitter. Now, I'm still having the shortness of breath, but I hope the voice is better this time. Now, before we close this video, I would like to take the Bitcoin dominance chart for you guys and show you something. Now, the Bitcoin dominance as of now is still here. The 3-day chart is still showing the moving average is saturating, but still pointing to the upside, right? The MACD, when you're looking at it, is still trying to cross back to the upside. So there should be something happening, right? There should be something. But yes, the price structure, the moment you zoom out, kind of shows you like you had this run up, you're fading that, you may have a retest. But before that retest, getting something like this should not be a surprising thing, because Bitcoin still has some room to do that burst here. From that 69,000 mark, you can run up another $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to push the market to the upside. And if we do get that soon, in a week, that would mean a lot of altcoins are still shaky, still slow, and the dominance should go up. Now, in the market, you do see a lot of these positive things, the fundamentals. Now, it's arguable whether you're at the middle or the top. That's a different story, but you understand the idea of new money coming in is huge. But on the other end, this is something to keep in mind. So while this is happening, you should utilize it, because the economy doesn't actually look really good, and they are not in any rush to cut the rates. So they'll wait until the economy drops dead before they try to put that CPR, which is what I understand from that, right? Guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.